See, I was here the whole time. It was you that wasn't here. I'm hoping, really hoping, that Nick has put the closed captions on. I don't know. Let me see. I don't even know if it comes up automatically or whether or not it's... Oh, I don't know. I give up. So totally and utterly beyond my... That's not it either. Why have I got this? I got Asperger's now. Why does this not want to work? This hates me. Oh no, look. It's just I'm not in the camera. Maybe this is the old one. Oh gosh, I've broken it now. I give up. Right, I'm going home. I've broken my phone now. Right, let's try again. Oh, I really hate this. I have just... Oh, thank you. Oh, hold on a sec. I've got the daughter calling me now. It's okay. I was just looking for your father. Okay, thanks, darling. Bye. Right, now I have to try and get onto this. Right, that's the live one. Oh, look, there I am. I'm living the life. Okay. So, that should be it all fixed. Why can't I see the closed captions? Oh. Well, I hope everyone else can see the closed captions because I can't. Oh, goodness gracious. There we go. We're sorted. Now, it's Tuesday. It's been Tuesday all day, and it's been quite a Tuesday, I can tell you. Here. So, well, there's a recipe for crepes, but that's not what I'm looking for, because I had to take notes about what I was going to discuss during mail chat, because quite frankly, it's escaping my brain at speed. So, I'll do these in a minute. When there's no mail, I've taken the mail over to Carleen. And I will say with Carleen, at the moment, we are going to the hospital for that rescheduled appointment that Gwen made from way back. This is for, she's going to the ear, nose and throat. It is not the dental extraction, but it's looking at all of that sort of area. She's feeling just a little bit under the weather. She said she doesn't know what's wrong with her. And the nurse was here today and yesterday, and the PT was here. So there's nothing terribly worryingly wrong with her, but she's just feeling a bit under the weather, and it's not coming. So there. So she's going to go to the hospital tomorrow, and we hope that they can get on top of whatever is going on. I will say Carol and I went to do the visit this afternoon, and we were asked to mask up because I think flu is rife at the moment. So we very willingly put the masks on and went to do the visit. So that's something to take into consideration as well. So it's been a very busy day. One of the most important things is that I received an email actually with instructions for Great Danes being outside, because apparently Willow was out for far too long today. I'm not 100% sure. I know I took her down. She stayed with us overnight last night. I'm not sure how long she was out for. I did check her very carefully when I went to get her, to take her into the barn with me. The reason I took her to the barn is because she's an exceptionally active young lady, and she needs a tremendous amount of stimulation, otherwise she gets into, or should I say supervised stimulation, because otherwise she gets into mischief. So I checked her ears were warm, her legs were warm, and her body was warm, and she had no shiver response. So I certainly thought when I took her into the barn that she was, pretty warm with no issues. I will say, she runs around constantly. She doesn't really stand still. She was inside, outside. I do not allow her into the paddocks with the animals. I'm very comfortable bringing her over here if it doesn't involve me opening lots of gates and going back and forward. So really what I was doing was mucking, and I had the goats, and put it this way, I think the goats are probably quite capable of dealing with an overly spirited willow. But I did put a little catch rope on her because I wanted to be able to grab her should we have any problems. But she definitely was running around very happy, and she seemed very warm, so I wasn't concerned about the temperature or her being cold, I'm afraid. So that's just what I observed, and she was happy. She was bouncing around everywhere, so I think she was probably generating her own heat at that precise moment in time. So, but hey, I am not the dog expert, but she certainly seemed okay. Now, the other thing is, it was a heck of a busy day. So this morning the hay truck did arrive just before 7 o'clock. We hooked up the trailer, and then realised, I thought I'll double check the trailer just before we leave Goldie's, and make sure that there isn't anything I need to leave on Goldie's. I opened the trailer and I was like, there are those two barn doors, and each barn door took us four people to move onto the trailer, and I thought this is a bit of a disaster, so we decided to leave the trailer behind. We do have enough hay on Goldie's at the moment to last us for 4 days, so I'm not overly worried about that. What we're trying to do is shift 60 to 80 bales from Meredith onto here, just so that we keep ticking over, and should we get exceptionally frosty weather or an icy driveway or those sorts of unpleasant things, that we're kind of like ahead of the game, and that we're not particularly concerned about having to take the trailer out in inclement weather, shall we say. So that was the thinking behind the trailer, and it didn't quite happen, but it's not the end of the world. So we had very fast unloading and stacking of the hay. Now, I will say something to you. This is not for the faint-hearted. It's a job that we all normally kind of like dread, but it was done in 45 minutes today. There was 800 and something bales, and we are so fortunate because when it comes off they put an electric conveyor belt coming off the trailer. And Nick and the gentleman who drives the truck, they load on from the trailer, and Eric and I, we take off from the conveyor belt, and he goes to one stall, and then there's 3 people in that stall who stack that hay, and then I go to another stall, and there's 3 people in that stall who are stacking the hay. So we're really we've got this off pat now. I think 45 minutes for that number of bales of hay is absolutely fantastic. And I think it's probably because we had enough people to do 2 stalls at one time. So that was really wonderful. And it's a really heavy job. There's a lot of heavy twisting. It's a twisting more than anything else. But I tell you, it certainly gets your heart pumping at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I was very lucky because I had to go and get the banker's cheque to give to the gentleman to pay for the hay, and Carlene's the signatory on the account, so I had to leave early and pick up Carlene and take her to the bank at 9 o'clock. So we got that done, and that was absolutely super. And then I came back here. Kate did the morning chores on Meredith. I did the morning chores on here, and then Nick came and did the arena, which was fantastic because that was a heavy job. And he did that because I had to go and get myself all cleaned up to go out on the job this afternoon. And by cleaned up, I mean I had to get all the dirt out from underneath my nails because I think one of the things I always forget about as I'm scalping around the place is that you get so much dirt and grime and grease from the animal coats, believe it or not, underneath your nails, that then when you're out and you glance down, you think, oh, that's absolutely disgusting. So I got myself all tidied up and ready to go. And Carol very kindly met us at Pilgrim House, and we had a lovely visit. There was about 30 people. And Larky, there's one gentleman in there that Larky absolutely adores. He spent a long time with the gentleman in the photo. He would go round the room visiting with people and then come back to this gentleman. And there's also a very nice man who works there, and he is diabetic, and Larky was all over him. And he said, yeah, he does this every time. He said, it's because I'm diabetic. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. He's like, no, he said he thinks it's super, his detection knows. So that was wonderful. So we had a very nice visit there with the staff and the residents. And then there was a priest came in to offer a communion to anybody who would like to receive it. And I'm afraid to say Larky was at the front of the queue. And I actually had to put a lead on him because I think that, a very ornate brass bowl with a lid for performing communion with those who asked. And Larky was like, it is so treats. It's so much like a treat. He's like, I'm here and I'm ready to be of service. I was like, oh my goodness. So I ended up having to put the leash on him and keep him away from the priest who was doing his priestly duties. So I thought that's one for the books, I can tell you. But Carol did inform me that Larky had not been baptised and it would not be appropriate. So we kept well away. We came home and I went to have lunch because I was really hungry, and then have wandered down here to do evening chores, and that will be it because I am having an early night. Because while you think you're doing really, really well first thing in the morning and you're throwing hay bales around with gusto, by the time you get to the end of the day, absolutely every bone, muscle, tendon, ligament, whatever in your body is aching, including my toes. And so I think everybody who was part of that hay team, we're all going to be having early nights, and that will be very much appreciated. And then we'll start all over again tomorrow. So while we were doing our job up here, Janine was doing her job down south with Wanda and the chickens, and that's commonly known as the ladies, Janine's ladies. She takes her two fluffy ladies out with Wanda, and she saw 48 people, and she sent me some pictures, so I posted them on Facebook, so you'll be able to have a look at those as well. So that was, quite a large number of people that between us we managed to see today. Tomorrow is Oceanside in Rockport, which is super fun because I have A, never been there, and B, I've got to get there, and we all know I don't do the interstate. So Carol has very kindly said that she will come and sit with me in the car while I navigate the roads. It's going to take us an hour, apparently. I was like, excellent. So we will be leaving round about 9:15. Carlene is going to stay at home, and then in the afternoon she has her appointment at 1:20. So we'll be wandering off down to Peabody at 1:20. So it'll be another busy day tomorrow, and that's quite exciting because we're moving around nicely and getting things done. It's probably really been helped by the fact that it has not been as cold as it really has been before. It's chilly, but it's not been bitterly cold, and we have had some stunningly bitterly cold days recently. So that has been much appreciated, and I think the rest of the week is going to be similar. So that is jolly good. And I'm trying to think of anything else that's happening. I think Janine's getting on very nicely down south. And I don't think it's nearly as cold as it is up here, which is good. And yeah, so that's us. Everybody is healthy, including Arthur, little stinker. So last night, as I told you on MailChat, I was going to put him in a lovely cozy stall. So I set up his beautifully well layered stall. It was all comfy and lovely. He had hay and he had water and he had his dinner, his hot dinner. I popped him in there. He ate his hot dinner and then he took the door off at the rails. He just barged through it because he wasn't staying in the stall. At which point I thought, you know what? Since he's already ruined one stall door, I will probably be better off putting him back in the arena with his buddies. So I did, because he obviously wasn't going to be happy staying in a stall by himself. So that's where he went, back in the arena. So best laid plans and beautifully laid beds, they just don't matter, because it was far better having Arthur in a far less stressful situation and staying behind the gate as opposed to staying behind the door. And so that's why he was in there last night. He's a stunner, honestly, an absolute stunner. So so that's what happened with him. But he is moving around today, and he is he's getting about. I have a strong suspicion that there's probably an abscess, because he's very prone to abscesses. He just seems to be one of these equines that enjoys growing a good abscess, and then it will burst and sort itself out. But we are keeping an eye on him and keeping him as comfortable as we can. And I did decide to give him a touch of bute last night as a pain reliever, and bute's very good for treating abscesses. So well, I'm just hoping he comes back round quickly, because he doesn't like being uncomfortable, does our Arthur. Now, I'm going to explain where I've got the hay bags, because there is a hay bag on, if you look on the barn camera, there's a hay bag on the trees and there's two on the fence to the right hand side. Then there's also another hay bag that is hanging off Tanner's barn door. And the reason I have put that there is I didn't want Arthur. I'm trying to get the animals outside in the sunshine while the weather is good, because there's going to become times when we're not going to be able to do that. So when the weather's good, I really try not to feed them in the arena, to encourage them to be outside. They do have access to the arena should they want to, but it's trying to keep them moving, because one of the tricky things in winter in particular is making sure that they're traveling around and they're not just standing munching on a hay bag, because when they do that, it's not good for their digestive system, and it's not a very healthy way for them to live, because they don't stand around munching a hay bag in the wild. So I do try to encourage them to move. The donkeys, for some reason, are not particularly keen on coming all the way along down to here. So I put the hay bag outside just so that they have access to hay. And the hay, when I was down here about 3 o'clock, it was still there was still hay to be eaten. So that's good, because I think that just gives them as long as possible to be sitting, occupying themselves with munching. The ground, honestly, is still rock hard, and there are patches of ice, mostly when you're not expecting it. And I've nearly been on my bottom several times, but it's winter. It's just the way it is. But we're doing our best to keep them moving around. Now we have 2 areas of available water for the animals. One is in the arena, and it does have a tendency to get a skin of ice overnight. It hasn't for the last few days because the temperatures haven't been too bad, but when it's really cold, it gets a skin of ice on it, and you have to break through it, and sometimes you actually have to take the heel of your boot and really wallop it, because you just can't get through. I try and take any ice that I do break out and put it at the back so that it takes longer for it to reform. But outside the what used to be the Donkey Cafe, there is another water trough, and it has a heater in it, and it is it's constantly full and also ice free. So they have opportunities to go to the water there should they choose. There's water in the cow stall, there's water in the goat stall, the turkey stall, and in with the rabbits, obviously. And we're just doing our best to keep it frost free. So everybody's got access, and they also all have soaked dinner. And the reason I soak dinner, every single day, I don't just keep it for winter. I also soak dinner in the summer, is because equines are prone to colic, and sometimes they get compaction colic if they haven't taken on enough water, or they become very dehydrated. And colic actually, can result in death. It's a very nasty and very common situation with equines, and we have been exceptionally lucky in that we have not had a case of colic in a good number of years. And I think it's probably due to the fact that we keep soaking every piece of grain or forage pellets that these animals have access to, because it just keeps their hydration levels up. So that's why I'm pedantic about water in feed, and it's not making more work for myself. It's because I think it's probably the healthiest thing. So we've been very fortunate. So even if you don't see them drinking a tremendous amount, all the animals that are fed, they actually have pretty sloppy hot dinners. So there you go. That's you all up to date. Now, oh my gosh, I think I have to go back the way. Now, I have to turn the CCs on at the bottom of my video. Oh, I've got. Oh, look, it's working. I don't know how that happened. I must have done it. Oh my gosh, I must have done that. That's very true, Nick, thank you. I don't actually need closed captions because I know what I'm saying. Well, I'm supposed to know what I'm saying, but yeah, that's a very good point. Thank you for that. Oh, dear. Oh, yes, I should probably do a thumbs up, but that would be a bit silly putting thumbs up for myself as well. Oh, now people are asking technical questions. That would be for Nick. Yes, it looks like there's a lot of demand for this outreach service down there, and I don't think there's anything else like it. So that's another big area that would be well serviced by the outreach team. When will the dogs be rearranged? Good question. I am presuming it's really busy tomorrow, and I was hoping to go down to the training facility with Sharon. So I'm not 100% sure what time the dogs will be arranged, but I don't think it will be tomorrow. Put it that way. Those ducks are absolutely horrific. Honestly, they're like all over the place. They are extremely strong flyers, and Nick found one of his ducks with blood around its neck last night, and he asked me to come and catch it for him. Seriously, and it's because the drakes are fighting. So it was one of the white drakes, so he looked quite gory. So I went in to go and catch him. I got him, I lifted him up, and he started, and I had him in the way that you would hold a chicken, with close against my body. So one wing was pressed pressed into my side, into his side, and the other wing I had trapped with this arm against his body. He started flapping his wings, and I couldn't hold him in that position because his wings are so strong. So he ended up upside down. He was holding on by one foot. And these ducks are actually, they're Muscovy ducks, and they're also known as tree climbing ducks. They go everywhere. And the more I watch them, the more I think I'm probably correct in not trimming flight feathers, because these things they're really strong. And while he was upside down, he pecked me in the leg. Honestly, I could have dropped him. I was like, little stinker. So I got him up the right way, and I had to use both hands and walk with him like this. And he was put into the white chicken house overnight just to keep him separate, because they've obviously been fighting. But these things are very strong flyers. Oof. And the other thing I was going to say, I should have written this on my list and I didn't. Michelle pointed out that she saw the fox, and it was just as daylight was breaking, and it came up from the parking pit and in front of her cabin and down the driveway. Now, I've seen this fox before, and he's she is an exceptionally healthy looking fox. I think this is probably the fox that unfortunately got Ziggy, and it is living, I think, at the back of the parking pit in all the undergrowth. Today was an exceptionally busy day, and I had thought about letting the ducks out when I started. When I came out at 6:15 this morning, and then I decided not to, because I know that fox is kind of active around about 6 o'clock in the morning, and that's obviously when they're out hunting. So I thought, for the peace of mind of everyone, I left the ducks inside. I didn't let the goats outside, or the turkeys, or the chickens in the barn. I just left everybody with access to food and shut inside until I got back after being on Meredith and with the hay, etc. So if you wonder why the animals are sometimes staying in a bit longer, it's because I would prefer that they weren't outside, just as when there's obviously predators that are taking the opportunity to go out and hunt when daylight has broken. So that's the reason for keeping them in until I was back. So these are just things that we can try and do to protect everybody as best possible. But I'll tell you, if you get a peck from one of those Muscovy ducks, you're stuffed. They're stinkers. Oh. Yeah, no, he's a monkey, that Larky. No, the ducks just come down. Those ducks just wander around all over the place. As I was coming down the driveway at 4:55 to come over here, I had to stop because the female white Muscovy was standing in front of the car going, yeah. I was like, no. So I shooed her over, and she flew back over the fence. So, yeah. Yes, I think that's quite right about the flu counts. Carlene avoiding the visits until the flu counts down, because it really looks like they're quite worried about the transmission of flu at the moment. He is down there with Sunshine and Chester, if Angus is down there. And I do not know how he's getting on, because I've forgotten to ask Janine. Is Willow out doing her zoomies? She zooms everywhere. Oh. outside sensor lights. I don't think we've put them up yet because we also haven't put up, because they were to go down at building 25, we also haven't put up the corner light. So these are all things that are on the to-do list. Oops, again. The bunnies are doing very well. They are just doing their own thing, and they seem quite happy. That moose is fantastic. He just stretches out and relaxes as he gets pushed around, and he's super. He's really lovely. Yeah, I think Arthur's painkillers from last night have worn off, and he hasn't had any more this morning. And I did actually think that he was putting a bit more pressure on his foot. So there. I got the guinea hens. I think I got them in Tractor Supply. I think Carlene said to me, I really miss having guinea hens. So I had this tremendous idea, you know, I'm always full of tremendous cunning plans. And I thought to myself, I know the problem with guinea hens is that they like to roost in trees, and they're very difficult to get back into the chicken roost at night time. So I thought I'll get guinea chicks, but instead of putting them under a hot lamp, I'll put them under a broody chicken. And then maybe what they'll do is associate with the broody chicken. And so far, touch wood, it seems to have worked, because it was, I had two white Brahma chickens that were both broody at the same time, and those are the big white chickens. And I gave them a couple of these chicks each, and those, at this precise moment in time, they're coming into roost at night time, which is absolutely super. They're not badly behaved like Vic Stucks. So that's exactly right. Excuse me, Carolyn's just sent me a text. She's too hot. Nick, if you're watching, Carlene is too hot, and she would like her heating setting changed, please, if you have a moment. So the broodies seem to have worked well with the guinea hens, and now they follow the chickens around, and they kind of like identify as chickens, although they make this most god awful noise. It's like murder in the chicken paddock, and they do it at night time, even though they're in the nut house. You can still hear them. They're so loud. Oh, and it was Carlene said, could we get some guinea hens? Honestly, never again. Oh yes, it was Angus, but Angus is no longer ours. Angus is actually it belongs to a couple of gentlemen who are in Portshire Farm. Foxes are exceptionally good hunters. I'm glad you're joking there. You've got monkeys in St. Louis and a goat. I'd be more worried about the goat, I think. Oh, is it a horned goat? Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, you don't want horned goats roaming around St. Louis, that much I can tell you. Honestly, there are some days when I'm sitting if I'm sitting in the sitting room, and all you can hear is this terrible crash, and it's those goats headbutting each other, and their horns. It's such a loud noise. So between the goats on my left-hand side and the guinea hens on the right-hand side and the dogs in the middle, you can imagine just how restful our house is. Oh. No, I haven't heard anything from the neighbours, but I think it's probably much quieter, I would hope. And the other thing is the guinea hens aren't down here. The guinea hens are up at my house. And so it's not quite the same set of neighbours. We have lovely neighbours up there. Okay, I am going to go and feed the barn and put it to bed for the night. And make sure everybody is happy and healthy, or as happy and healthy as I can get them. So we will be back tomorrow with another busy day tomorrow, and we'll take it from there. So I hope you have a lovely rest of the evening, and hopefully you'll join me tomorrow. So, what did I say? Says her who just held forth about the hens and goats. I like the hens and goats. Yes, beware the horned goats. Right, I'll see you all tomorrow. Oh, if I can get off my feet. Right, that's me. Chicken food, turkey food, chicken food, turkey food. Oh my goodness gracious me, it's very cold. Yes, that's still moving. Oh my golly, I know your dinner's out here. It's really.